Hello. So, I saw Venom-Let There Be Carnage last Thursday, and today is Monday. And between Thursday, Friday, everything, I've been so busy helping people move and doing stuff and everything that it actually, it messed me up. Very unexpected. A lot of my time was taken up this past weekend, so I really didn't have time to sit down and do a video, and I'm driving to pick something up, so I'm gonna do it now. So we're gonna talk about Venom-Let There Be Carnage. Firstly, this movie, and I might do a power-up review a little bit. You know what? Yeah, I'll do a power-up review. I'll tell you when the spoiler happens. I'm not going to try to have this one long. It doesn't need to be. 90-minute movie. Right off the bat, if you like the first Venom movie, you're probably going to like this movie. I highly doubt that you're not going to like this movie if you enjoyed the first Venom movie. Actually, I think I do need to do a review on the first Venom movie because I've never done one, and I'm trying to catch up with Marvel and all these things. You know, some retro reviews, so this way I'm not just doing the sequels. So yeah, we got Venom. It's, you know, a little time later. You saw the situation on how, in this particular version, how Carnage became Carnage, which is a little bit different than how they did it in the original, you know, storyline, but it makes sense. Why? Because Spider-Man wasn't a factor, and, you know, they already were doing the pushing towards the Lethal Protector stuff. And congratulations to Venom for having the pandemic opening weekend, passing Shang-Chi and Black Widow. I think they did like 90 or 100 million, from what I understand. So here's some facets to it, and I'm gonna get this out the way now, just so I could talk about it or whatever. Both movies would be better if they were rated R, but I understand why they're not rated R. You can't knock success. The first movie did over 800 million. And from, if I remember correctly, yeah, I don't think a single Spider-Man movie, not a single Spider-Man movie or a connected film, so we call this connected film, I call it, you know, that Spider-Man vein. Sony, basically. We'll say that Sony Spider-Man universe, Marvel universe, has not done below 700 million, which is fantastic. And this one may, but, you know, the pandemic, some differences. However, beyond that, this movie is a very fast pace. You see Venom and Eddie are in a very tumultuous situation with each other. They're not having the best of times with each other. And there's a lot, and I like it. It was like, this movie, it dove right in. How he got the, how he got to bite him was actually pretty funny. But I thought the movie was very, very funny. Now, and yeah, Tom Hardy definitely steals the show with this film, hands down. Some of the old characters came back. I liked what they did there. And this was very, very, very Venom-centric. And like Venom and Eddie-centric. But it also built a lot of story with Cletus Cassidy. And you also seen there's Shriek in there. That's the one that was screaming. If you didn't know, that character's name is Shriek. Played by Naomi Harris, who I think she's awesome. It's like every time she's in a movie, I'm just like, Naomi Harris is great. And I love when she plays someone off kilter, because for her, like, sweetness and kindness and beauty and everything, she knows how to land a crazy person. She did it in Pirates, where it was like, oh shoot, you wouldn't even, unless you paid attention, you wouldn't even recognize her. And she did it again in this. And this film focused on Carnage in a sense of who he was, how he got to that point. And Venom actually helped Eddie with a big thing, but there was like, basically they needed to learn how to appreciate each other. And they were kind of taking each other for granted in a sense. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I will say this, and I don't feel, it's spoiler territory, but it's not technically spoiler territory. It's, so you don't get your hopes up. When Venom says it's a red one, he like never explains it. It's never explained what that is. So, just so you know right there, just in case, because I was actually really curious. I was like, are they going to expand on what a red one is? Like, that's not something really in the comics. I mean, I know Carnage has a special thing because of what he does, but this is different. And Carnage's look was great. Carnage coming out of the box was very powerful. And I really like that, how they did it. There's another aspect of Carnage that I found a little weird, but it worked for the film. But I was like, that's. I know Carnage to be a certain type of way. I like his character a lot for him being a villain, because you don't need a purpose to have Carnage do Carnage. And I like that about him. He's a guy you can always throw in there. He can go toe to toe with some of the powerhouses and stuff. And it's a bad day if you're dealing with Carnage, kind of thing. Well, in this, there was a dichotomy there. And also like that they played up, and I kind of saw it and I was like, huh. I'm used to Cletus being and Carnage being one and the same mind. They view each other as the same. This did it a little different, but I understood why. The story, like I said, is very fast paced. It's like boom, 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 boom. If you are a symbiote fan, you will catch something in there. And if you know what it is, then you know. Because I was one of these fans of this particular thing. I got the 6 issues or whatever. And it does pop up in there. They connected the stories of the characters a certain type of way, which I thought was really nice. How they connected characters that normally wouldn't be fully connected into the story. And I thought it was really good. And they left it at a great place for the next film. Also, there is a hint to something that people have been questioning. I'll get to it in the spoiler part. But you question it, and we've been like, when are they coming? This movie kind of plays on that a little bit. You'll understand if you think about it. I'll give you a hint. In Marvel, what type of person has to go to a special school? And there's actually more than one, so it's not that. But if you think the most common answer, you would be correct. But they did it in such a subtle way that you had to kind of pay attention to catch it, and I love that. So that's the best I can give without giving out spoilers. I will say this: they made Cletus more humanized. Like, it worked for the movie, but I wasn't a fan of that. Like I said, I actually prefer him to just be kind of just off his rocker 100%, not with a purpose of I just want to do this today. So yeah. Now, for my rating, this is definitely a straight up high on my list of a should buy. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the movie. I had a great time. You were in, you were out. It wham bam, thank you ma'am, gave you everything you wanted, everything you needed, and kept it pushing. Now, and the after credit was boss, okay? The after credit was great. It has huge implications. I can't wait to see the next phase of what we're going to see. And it was really awesome how they did it. That's the powering up. Now we're powered up. Spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. They made Cletus more of a love story with two, like, natural born killers thing with the two people that were in love. And I know in the comics they were, but it was kind of one of those things where it was implied that he was into her, but she definitely was in love with him, but you never really fully know because Cletus is so off his rocker. And I didn't like the fact that they made Cletus and Carnage not symbiotic. And I thought that was weird because he is like perfect symbiosis. Like Carnage is so perfect that the Carnage symbiote thinks like Carnage. Like it's like, I'm Carnage, I'm Cletus. It doesn't say we, it says I. Because that's how in sync they are. It's not even a we situation. It's a straight up I do this. So I found that to be weird, but I saw they did it for story plot because then Carnage had an issue, and with her screaming, they gave him that weakness where he actually has the weakness, but not to that degree. Kind of played that up. Now that Tom Hardy and them are in this particular place, Venom and him are at a good place. I want to see them play it up where they're back on that more team kind of thing now that they got through their rough times. If you don't know who Patrick Mulligan is, because Marvel did him dirty, like an off-panel kill. If you read the comic Toxin, there's a hint that he might actually be Toxin. And I think that's going to be interesting. Now, I do feel for the next film, I want to see Venom fight something else besides the symbiote. And this one he kind of did. He actually ended up fighting Shriek, but he wasn't really focused on Shriek. He was focused on the symbiote. But I want to see him have a villain that's not a symbiote. So I like to see how that works out. Or if it is going to be a symbiote, something different, but it's like, all right, you know, you do symbiote, like, you know, something a little different. There's a plethora of characters. The movie was fun. I like the fact that they snuck getting in She-Venom again. I also like the fact that he was hanging in Mrs. Wu and she was going off on, but he had to eat the chocolate. That's like a huge thing for me. I love that Venom needs to eat chocolate. Lethal Protector, but he was like, I'm starving, I need more. I thought they played that up well, and they did the Lethal Protector thing, and they finally started saying it because that's when I became a major fan of Venom. I actually bought the Lethal Protector comics. My first Venom comic was actually one where he got in a fight with Juggernaut, was able to hold his own with Juggernaut. Juggernaut knocks him into the sewer, and he like falls into this other symbiote thing, and he starts having like all these little mini heads popping off of him. So that was interesting. But they played up Lethal Protector. Like I said, that's when I became a big fan of Venom from that point on. But I have to admit, my favorite version of Venom is Flash Thompson, even though I really liked what Donnie did with this Venom and Eddie, because I feel like Eddie and Flash, their redemption arcs are incredible. I love, y'all heard me say it before, I love a villain or a bad person, and that's not the only aspect of them. Sometimes, and they're locked in. So Flash was a bully, but Flash wasn't a bad person. Then you got Eddie, who was hurt, he felt rejected and everything, and that's why he went villainous. But then, you know, the desire to eat, but they got around that with the chocolates and whatever from Venom. And it was just all around a fun time, a good movie. The few gripes I had were definitely outweighed by the good. Tom Hardy killed it. I really enjoyed Woody Harrelson's characterization of Cletus. He really played that up, and I liked how they did that. And I like the Shriek thing and mutants. And also, too, make sure you stay after the after credit. I should have said that in the previous part. I'm going to have to sneak that in there. All right. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see ya.